Andrew, I just want to begin by talking about your individual season, MVP of the American League, which kind of goes to your resume of also having some scoring titles and some Calder Cups under your belt. But getting that MVP and considering that it was voted on by other coaches and players in the league, ultimately, as you step away from this season, that's got to be a nice compliment, right?
Sure. I mean, yeah, it feels good and it's nice to be recognized, but cliche answer, we don't play hockey and like I didn't start playing hockey when I was 5 years old to win an AHL MVP. So just thankful for my teammates, the staff, opportunity, everybody who gave me a chance and has helped me get to this point. My wife and family who supported me. I think it's a nice recognition for everybody, like everyone who I just mentioned who helped me get here and allowed me to do this. So yeah, it's nice and all, but you kind of play for the team hardware at the end of the season.
You mentioned your wife. Didn't you guys have another child during the Calder Cup playoffs, or was that right before it?
Yeah, no, right during game one when the boys were playing in Ontario. So I think my son was born, I forget what time, maybe 7, 8 o'clock, and then Eastern time. And when 10 o'clock rolled around, we had the iPad going and we were watching the boys and they got a win. So it was a good night for us.
So I just want to recap the injury that kept you out basically the final 5 weeks of the season. Knew you were trying to come back, and there was kind of that hint that maybe if you had another game or obviously another round, you would have gotten back. Tell us what it was like late in this season to fight through this injury. And obviously, it's never a good time for that, but especially how it impacted you.
Yeah, I think it was just super frustrating mentally. I was trying to beat my timelines and trying to do everything to get back. And with the way our playoffs lined up with my injury, it essentially was like a week or two that we were off. And I was trying to, make that time up by rehabbing and doing everything I could. But ultimately, I was right on the timeline where the doctor said I would be from the start. And just kind of sucks that we essentially fell like one goal short from me playing because I would have been ready to go in game five. And yeah, just sitting on on the couch watching those games helplessly
Yeah.
definitely sucks. But I know the boys and everybody went out there and gave it their all, and sometimes it doesn't go your way. So yeah, I mean, no hard feelings. It is what it is, and just an unfortunate way to end the season.
Obviously the CUDA swept the first round against Ontario, both close games, and really all the games in the second round against Colorado, they were all close. Maybe game one and the final game feel a little bit more inflated. There was no overtime. There were some empty netters. What did you see from your teammates in that series? Honestly, against the top seed, they hung right in there every single game.
Absolutely. Every game they could have won. Every game there was chances to win, and that's playoff hockey. And I guess they got the bounces and things went their way and not ours. And that's life and that's what happens. But credit to the boys for battling. And, we had some other guys out with injuries as well. And definitely was our full lineup that we could have had potential. But, guys stepped up and played well and gave ourselves a chance. And ultimately that's what it takes. So sometimes it just doesn't go your way. And that's what happened.
I'll ask you this as a team leader and obviously somebody with, very, very much veteran status in professional hockey and in the American League. From what you saw in your teammates and as your group collectively from the start of the season to the end of the postseason, did this team make progress? And how do you define the progress that the Barracuda collectively and individually made this year?
Absolutely. I'm not to sound like Jimmy and I were better, but like when we stepped in and we came here, you can just kind of see a reflection of how the last couple of years have went. And just to build on that with the changing of the culture, creating more competitiveness. And, I think it all stemmed from the start of training camp to where we are now. You can just see the excitement, the young talent, and like I mentioned, competitive. I think that's been the theme throughout the organization is that that's what they wanted to be here. And I think we achieved that. And, guys realizing that this is pro hockey and, you're fighting for your job every day and you got to bring it and you got to try and get better every day and, never be satisfied. So just to see the culture change, especially around the CUDA side of things where I was, it's pretty cool to see from the start of the year till now.
I know you didn't get to play with them just due to the nature of timing of your injury and their call-ups and their joining the Barracuda, but when Chernyshov and Musty joined the team, how did you see them doing in their first taste of professional hockey?
Yeah, I thought they adjusted, and I mean they kind of got thrown into the wolves.
Yeah.
You come into an ultra competitive playoff environment, with teammates who you don't have chemistry with, you haven't played with all year. They're coming from the OHL, which, the AHL is a huge jump up. And then on top of that, they're being, I don't know, 18, 19 years old, however old they are.
Right.
Um, like that's not an easy thing to do. And I think people don't realize like how truly hard the AHL is and how hard pro hockey and then playoffs against the number one seed in our division. So credit to those guys for stepping up and handling it like professionals and coming in and trying to show their game and showcase themselves and what they bring to the organization. So definitely it was not an easy situation and I thought they did a great job.
Two more things, and kind of along that line, you as being somebody around this league who really gets, the development and how things go. If you had to shout out some of your teammates who you thought had really good seasons or made a lot of progress, I know you'd probably want to talk about everybody, but if there are just a few, could you narrow it down to just a couple for us?
It's so hard.
You're not the coach, I get it, but you've seen a lot.
Yeah, I guess you can shout out Luca. He's a guy that I mean we were giving him a hard time the other day about or last night about it, just saying that like he didn't even know if he was going to be here for more than 2 weeks at the start of the season.
Right.
He could have been going back to junior, and to see him come in and have the season he had with the confidence he has. Um, at his age and you can even say his size. He plays the game so well, thinks it so well, has so much skill, and clearly proved that he's a top defenseman in this league with his play. And so I could shout him out, and he was a lot of fun to play on the power play with. Um, a kid like Colin Graff, we had a lot of chemistry, and we played a ton together when he was here. We had a lot of fun. Um, uh, Yeah, I mean, you really can go up and down the lineup. I mean, Askey in net is a rock star. He's fun to play with. He's got swag. He's competitive, and he's a really good goalie, and he's fun. So I truly could go up and down the
Yeah.
lineup. I'm sure guys will be mad if I'm not mentioning them, but like our group was so fun to come to the rink every day, and we had a tight knit group. Everybody's chirping each other, giving each other a hard time, but that's what it takes, the camaraderie, and that's what's fun, and makes it enjoyable to come to work and come to the rink every day.
See, I thought you weren't going to name anybody. Then you couldn't stop yourself. See, that's how it goes. But no, that's a great thing. Hey, got to ask. I mean, I know you wanted those 10 straight games in the NHL. We're still working on that for you. Just in terms of you in this summer, and what do you plan to do to work on your own game? Obviously, you have a new addition to the family. That's going to take some time. But where does your work start this summer?
Yeah, I think just continuing to rehab, doing stuff like that to make sure I'm fully healthy. That's the top priority. But I think for me, I just need to keep building on speed. I think this game is so fast nowadays with all these young kids and them coming in. And I think the biggest thing for me is keep working on my speed and pace and stuff like that. I don't think I'll get to work on my golf as much now with three kids. So it'll be mostly gym, ice, and dad duty. But um, it'll be fun. It's still my job. I still take it so seriously, and I still want to get better and chase my dreams. So gonna just have a big summer here and see what happens.
I'm just getting restarted in golf, so call me in about 6 months, but not before then. And then we can talk. All right, Potsy, thank you so much. Congrats on the great season. Again, MVP of the American League. A nice honor for you. You very much deserve it, and thanks for being so good with us this year. Have a great summer.
Thanks, Brodie. Appreciate it.